what we were looking at and what we're looking for is what the daily lives of these families were like out here on the frontier, before San Francisco was even anything. And so when we get to these foundations, we can find the ground surface. And then once we find that ground surface, we've actually even found the beginnings of a huge trash pit that dates to the early period of the colony. And in the trash pit is where we're going to find all of the information. That's where all the data is.
So we're at the Presidio in beautiful San Francisco, and it's a shut down army base or military base, and we came upon an archaeological dig. And as you heard the young lady mention and explain kind of what they're doing here, it just brought to memory that the way they dig through this stuff and they take their time in order to understand cultures and how people were the way they were. One of the things she said was, the most interesting part of an archaeological dig and to find out about people in their past is their trash. They dig up trash from the 1700s, the 1800s. A lot of times working on ourselves, myself having to work on my coping mechanisms with gangs and how I seen it with my anger, the way I reacted to things, with the reasons that I use substance abuses, it all had to do with my history. And in order to change your history, there's a saying I remember, and I've always thought of it, is you can't change who you are until you can admit who you've been. And archaeologically speaking, it's like you have to really dig inside of you, because outside change and changing your life for the better is an inside job. But you have to really dig deep inside to find out why you're angry. You have to dig down deep inside to find out why you dropped out of your family to join a gang. Because a lot of times people look at me and say, well, you're a gang dropout. And it's just like, no, I don't want to look at it that way. What it was is I dropped out of my family first, then I joined in a gang and a bunch of friends, and eventually I grew out of that by digging inside of me and finding out what led me that way, and I dropped back into my family. So if you really think about it, before you hooked up or kicked it with any homies or any group, you dropped out of your family first. So understand that you have to really be able to dig deep, take your time meticulously, taking your time to dig like these archaeologists do to find out what it is that went wrong and correct that way of thinking, because you can't use words to describe your situation, you have to use words to fix your situation.